Today I want to tell you about one of the dumber realizations I've had in recent memory. To call it a revelation feels silly, but that is kind of what it was. For a long time, I felt that my personal interests in art and my thoughts about the politics and the socio-political climate surrounding it, I thought those two things were splitting apart. They were becoming less compatible as I became more privy to the environment that I found myself in. That is to say, my tastes are largely informed by the kind of shit I grew up with. I am a product of my environment. And so the stuff that I was very frequently exposed to was either big swings by big studios costing millions of dollars that changed the industry, the Halos of the world, all about spectacle and polish. It blew my mind as a kid. I loved that shit so much. It was either that or it was abysmal dog shit. Like, I don't know, Narnia for the Xbox. Fucking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Both of those left their mark on me in their own unique ways, but by and large, I still tend to gravitate towards the gigafuck massive tentpole releases of the year somewhat frequently. And I remained somewhat standoffish towards the majority of indie games that I have seen come my way, which, as I've gotten more involved in the space, has become quite a lot. And I found that really distressing. It almost felt dishonest in a way, if that makes sense. Like, I'm out here on the main channel trying to push for more attention, more resources, more empathy, for more importance to be given to just the smaller side of video games and art in general, really, Like, I think one of the most recurring themes of what I've been making lately is that I think that things that are bad should still be treated with interest, and more importantly, things that are smaller and more personal and more inspired, less driven by a profit motive, deserve our support in any way we can provide it. So, I preach all of this, and I really do believe all of that. I really, really want there to be more support systems in place for smaller creative swings. But at the same time, here I am playing fucking Need for Speed Unbound. You want to talk about slop? Like, Jesus Christ, that series has been, okay, obviously they have made changes through the series, but if you plop someone down who's never played Need for Speed before and ask them to play the last 5 entries, I'm pretty sure they'd be hard-pressed to come up with any really huge... They're gonna feel the same. They're gonna feel the same. Because they are. They are very, very, very similar in structure. They are iterative in terms of release. By and large, it is about the same as a sports game. You're going to get a slightly different experience. You're going to pay $70 for it each time, and it's going to be mostly the same thing that you played 3 years ago. So I can't help that I like the kind of games that I like, but I did feel a little bit like an imposter for a bit, for my tastes having shifted so little despite my perspective on the industry changing so much during the same time. Eventually, though, I realized the most obvious thing in the world, and something that really shouldn't have been a revelation for me, but it was. And that is that the reason I gravitate to the big releases more often than to niche indie stuff is simply because massive releases are geared towards the lowest common denominator. That's the point. If I see, a cozy fishing game made by 3 people on Steam that costs $10, and I look at it and I'm like, no thanks. That's not a problem. That game does not need the level of support that fucking Need for Speed does in order to be considered a financial success and continue supporting the people who made it. It just needs to reach enough people who want more of that niche. Case in point, a game that I recently ran into and absolutely adore, called Desecrators, is a 6 Degrees of Freedom first-person shooter that's basically like a spiritual successor to old-school shooters like Descent and Aquanox. That is so fucking niche. Who is that for? How old are the people who are gonna play this thing? Like, I do think that it is a crime that it has so little attention that at the time of recording it has like 150 something Steam reviews. I plan to change that because I do love this game and I do think more people would appreciate it. I have no idea whether or not the developer has enough support in order to justify the work they're going into it, but I do know that they don't need their game to receive anywhere near as much attention as, say, the new Black Ops in order for things to make sense for their bank account. So yeah, the stupid thing that I should have already understood, but for some reason had to do a little bit of introspection in order to figure out, is that as long as you are actively exposing yourself to new things where possible, so long as you are taking active steps to broaden your horizons and try things out that you otherwise might not enjoy, it's fine if you still watch the new fucking Mission Impossible, dude. It's fine. Because the more active steps that you take to expose yourself to more niche things that you otherwise might not have come across, the more likely it is that you will find something that's just for you. And that's just good. We need that. Not everything needs to appeal to everyone. Not everything should appeal to everyone. It's just as important for a healthy artistic medium for there to be extremely niche things made by and for very small groups of people, as it is for there to be gigantic mega fuck ultra products designed to appeal to every living being. Both of those can exist in the same space. It's okay. Subscribe for more universal truths.